Hey folks, Jim from Salvinos J R Models. I got a little oops. Excuse me. I made a couple mistakes. Please forgive me. Hey, any married guy? I'm sorry. I was wrong. Please forgive me. That's what saves knots on our head. And as we get older, we don't have much more to cover them up. So I got a couple little mistakes that I noticed. One that I was made aware of earlier in the week, and one that I knew there was an issue, but I wasn't sure where it was. But I stumbled into it this week. So let's take a look at those fixes. So if you have seen Clay Kemp's tutorials on assembling the next gen chassis, he builds it a little bit different from the way that I had originally set it up in the instructions, and he did a far better job. But I noticed as I was building, and I knew there was an issue that other people were having, and I didn't know where the problem was. So I followed Clay's ways of doing it, of assembling and gluing the truss onto the back of the back firewall, and then going back and up to the top and trimming off the tops of those pieces so that they'll clear the roof. But I build it that way and then assemble. Of course my Ring doorbell would go off. Assemble the fuel cell cage and start with gluing the sides onto the back of the truss. Then you can glue on the back face of the firewall. Excuse me, the back face of the fuel cell, and then the top, glue those together. But the problem lies in that piece down on the bottom. So you see those little lavender areas, those you need to take your clippers or your sanding paper or your hobby knife and trim off about 0.010 of an inch on each of those faces. That was one of the parts that I had that was just exactly correct face to face with the parts in the design, and I kind of brain faded and didn't allow for some room for glue and stuff like that. So trim those off, and you'll find that that this piece, the underside piece, it actually slides in together in reality a lot better than you can see me doing it on the computer. But you can see there now that there's that gap. And what was happening was when that part was glued in, as you if you assembled the fuel cell cage with that and glued it all together, when you went to put it onto that truss, the front would be splayed out a little bit, and then if you glued it to the truss and then tried to glue it onto the firewall, it just was not happy. But if you'll do it this way, it'll go together a whole lot better. Another oops that I was told about was those two green holes you see there. Those are where the firewall connector on the inside of the cabin plug in, and I didn't realize that when I moved those holes up, they were 0.008 of an inch above where they needed to be for the horseshoe section of the roll cage for the Roadrunner. So we will probably fix this down the line, but of the ones that you have now, you're just going to have to drill a couple little holes, 0.008 of an inch, or just about 2 millimeters, and drop them down about 2 millimeters or 0.008 of an inch from the center of the hole above, center to center, top to top, whatever you want to do. Just drop them down about 0.008 of an inch, 2 millimeters ish, and that should do what you need to do. So trimming those points off of that part number D51. It's the fuel cell bottom. Trimming those points off of those two triangular pieces is going to make a whole lot of difference. It will allow the two sides of the fuel cell cage to stay nice and parallel. Those will glue perfectly up against the truss, which will go perfectly up against the back firewall, and everything's going to work out just that much better. That'll take away a little bit of the headaches. And as far as that firewall that I showed, and here's one of the copies. This is only in the Roadrunner, and I think we've got 2,500 of those that are out, which as you guys get to them, go ahead and drill them. And our kit for April is going to be the 1972 Roadrunner, and it will use this. So you are going to need to drill those holes just a little lower, drill those holes, and just these top two, drill them out a little bit lower, and that horseshoe is going to be horizontal, and everything's going to go together fine. We will make changes on the existing mold for down the line, but as far as right now, it's a little bit too late to make those changes. So simple little thing. Hey, it's modeling. You know, they're not snap together kits, and you know, I'm human. I make mistakes. So little fixes, and take care of that, and you'll be happy with your Roadrunner. That is, I have been really amazed at the number of the existing Roadrunner kits that I've seen pictures of. The guys have just done, it's just been a really nice kit with so many. I haven't seen a bad one built yet, and I hate to use the term yet. I haven't seen a bad one built, and they just go together well, and the guys do a beautiful job on them. But that'll make your model experience just a little bit better. I think a lot of people have probably figured out that was a little issue. They may have trimmed off the horseshoe and glued it where it needed to sit horizontal. But there you go. So mea culpa on my part, and I will be back to you very soon with the unboxing video for the William Byron Raptor kit. That's our next kit that's coming out. So thanks for following Salvinos J R Models. Thanks for building our stuff, and see you soon.